Hey guys, today I want to show you my Chromebook and how I use my Chromebook to basically conduct all the business that I need for the bare bones minimum basics of my business and my life and stuff. I want to upgrade to a Windows computer, but I've been using Windows. Chromebook is not an accepted operating system in like the general like software development I guess industry. People that make software, they don't really make software for Linux anymore. So so Chromebook uses sort of a I guess it deploys the Linux operating system for its software, but it's called like the Chrome operating system. So if a software doesn't have a Linux version, you're just fucked, because that's the only software. The main primary software is basically Linux to download software, and if a software does not use Linux, you have to do some crazy like witchcraft voodoo with the terminal over here. And like you have to like do all this crazy shit to get the damn thing to work. So today I think it's time that Chrome has this epic feature of the canvas. This is one of the coolest things in Chrome, operating system. You could make your own graphics and stuff. It comes pre-installed with Chromebook, and in my opinion, it's better than Microsoft Paint. I made this in the Canvas app. Show you guys my personal website is currently in development. Well, I'll show you this first. I'll show you the graphic first. I made an ebook called Wife Ready. How to get ready to meet your wife and how to become wife ready. And let's see, general files, code. Show you the ebook that I wrote. Let's see. Oh, that's not it. Code. Mike Moss personal website. MikeMoss.html. Hold on. Where's my fucking code? Ebooks. BOCC. It's in my code. Becoming wife ready. I wrote this right here. WifeReady.html is just an ebook on is just an ebook that I wrote on how I became wife ready. I think ever since I learned really how to, I don't know, I still don't really know anything about women. I know that women are just as transactional as men. And women, I guess they don't like to just share their body with like every fucking guy. As a guy has a fucking penis, which is basically you could wash off a penis. A woman is internal organs are basically, kind of, they get more dirty. They get like, it's not like an easy to fix problem if you have like bugs in your vagina, so it's like, yeah, I've been talking to girls for like 10 years, but I still have a really hard time. And ever since though, I've been looking for a wife. I get really good responses and stuff. Women want to get married. They don't just want to share their body with everybody for the one time and leave. And I think that's like Maybe I'm ugly. I don't know what the fuck I am. I just know that like I have a hard time. So I have a love interest right now. A woman who wants to marry me, and I want to marry her, and I think it might be a good thing. But now that I have basically access to marriage, it makes me question if I really want to get married. I probably will, and I'll probably make my wife my secretary for my business, and have a little partnership and raise a family. I don't know. I think all that shit is actually kind of stupid, but if that's what the Lord wants me to do, then that's what I'll do. I think we all have jobs to do on this earth, and your job sometimes is to raise another person to be a productive member of the world. I know that when I have kids, they're going to have jobs working for me, because like that's going to be their job, is to work for me. I'll take care of the money, but they have to work for me. They're not going to go work for someone else, unless they want to be like nurses. If one of my sons wants to be like a doctor, or if one of my daughters wants to be like a nurse, then I guess that's different. But I'm not going to have any of my kids working in someone else's office. It's not the thing. It all depends on, basically, I would definitely 99.9% prefer preference if my kids work for me and not for someone else. I think like I want to have a bunch of kids and turn them into like hobbyists. Have them, give them the gift of that. Give them like the freedom to be able to do more or less whatever the fuck they want with their lives. Something that's not working, where money isn't the object, like if they want to be an artist or be a bodybuilder or be like a engineer or something, like they want to be like a scientist, like sit in the basement and do like math and like figure out like meaningful shit for the world, it's like do like something, if that's what they want to do, just to provide an ecosystem for people that kind of do whatever the hell they want. And then basically is I would probably want my kids to work for me and stuff, that's a big thing. But then if they don't want to work, then I guess that's fine, I know like if you don't work, if you're like my son or daughter, and if you don't want to work for me, if you don't want to feel like some sort of obligation to either like the family business or society, if you just want to like try to leech off of me and stuff, then I'll basically disown you and just not talk to you anymore. Is like I wasn't never given an option of whether or not if I have parents and stuff. Is like my mother just sort of stopped talking to me for pretty much no reason. I would call her every day. I think I bitched her out a couple times, but she was also being a fucking asshole or something. And so, yeah, I'll never try to take like legal hold over my kids' lives like how my mom tried to do to me. She got me approved for, she encouraged me to apply for disability when I was 20 years old. And I wound up getting approved for disability my first time around because my medical history was so outstanding that I guess they saw that and was like, holy shit, or whatever. And but then she tried to take like legal authority over my money and my life and stuff. And this was back in the infancy of my career, where I had like probably like $100,000 net worth, you know. But I had a great future mind for like my on paper net worth was like 100,000. So I owned some business equipment. Basically, I owned some business assets to build a business. It means my on paper assets were like 100,000, and I think she wanted to try to gain control of that, but she was unsuccessful. And you know, basically, you know, did so pretty much, you know, yeah, so let's talk about Chromebooks for once. This is supposed to be a video about Chromebooks. So obviously with Chromebooks, Google Chrome is the web browser, or the what's it called? Well, a web browser, but the official term for it is like a yeah, I guess Chrome web browser. I think there's a more used term for an internet browser. It's like you have Firefox, you have Microsoft Edge, and then you have Google Chrome, and we used to have like Internet Explorer, you know. And so pretty much, yeah, so it's great for listening to music and stuff, but for any real high intensity anything, it pretty much sucks or is not that good, you know. So, you know, yeah, it's great for general like internet surfing through Google Chrome, you know. So, yeah, YouTube is great for Google Chrome. YouTube is now owned by the Google Corporation. It started out as an independent company for people to host videos. And then Google acquired YouTube back in, I think, 2012 as one of its businesses or assets under the Google umbrella, I suppose. Google is a great, Google is a great, yeah, well, yeah, I mean, Google and YouTube, right? I think, YouTube is like, I don't know what Google's plans for world domination are, but Google was like the first operating system or the first search engine that really stuck, But I think Google will be phased out eventually. I think they have too much private agendas and stuff for like dabbling a little bit fucking too much in the political spectrum, This is entrepreneurship. You're not like the government, any entrepreneur that has like a company as you're trying to dabble in government shit is like you're just not allowed to do that, basically. I believe that the government should not allow like too many. An entrepreneur is an entrepreneur and a politician is a politician. The two don't mix very well, money and power, right? Yeah, I think that's all we need to know about entrepreneurs getting involved in politics. It's bad enough that people have money and it's bad enough that people have power. The two should be maybe more separate. I think it's very obvious that the government needs to take more control over the economy, and the entrepreneurs and businesses have some more like of a stranglehold or an oversight on what is going on in these companies, because not every business is run with the government in mind, Not every business is run with the government in mind, when you decide that you want to own a company in the United States, you should basically have to sign some papers that you basically work for the government and you work in the interests of the government. And the only thing the government is going to ask you in return is basically, to probably you pay your taxes in, what's it called? Fucking goddamn probably have like I don't know, pay your taxes, work in the interests of the government, and when you cross a certain point in business, if it's not just like a small restaurant or something, if it's not just like a small restaurant or something, if you own like a big office building that has like a lot of like creative this and that and the third, you should basically surrender your political power and your policies. Is like the people who own businesses should have a little bit more insight on what is going on in the government, so we could be proactive members of the government community and be able to work in favor of some of the lighter agendas of the government and the United Nations. And I live in the United States. Whatever they're trying to do in the government up there, I want to know a little bit about it so I could work in the interests of the government so that I can have a better company. And I'm honest, I'm not much of a user. I'm not like a user. I'm not going to abuse like working in the interests of the government or working for the government so that I could make more money all the time and try to be like the government's best little Damien child of like, yes, you will do my bidding, and then we will give you money. Like, I think that might be like pretty cool if the government is really that sinister. I don't know. Yeah, I guess, well, yeah, that's the way the world is, so you gotta be with it or without it. But I don't think the government is that sinister to let some, like, once you cross, like, maybe like $100 million in net worth, there should be like a phone call between you and the local tax agency of like maybe like a small like dose of like the policies that you now are bound to have in your business, and some like asterisks of like this is what the government is, some shit like that. I always try to work in the interests of the government, but I don't really know what the fuck is going on in the world, so I don't want to be just an entrepreneur who his only goal is to make money and build a lot of cotton candy fucking companies that look really shiny and make me a lot of money. I'm all about service to my government and my communities. And I think most of us would be down with the clown if only we knew what the fuck was going on. And I have faith that the government is not so goddamn sinister. There's no like devil worship going on at the White House. Let's just get that out of the back of our minds. There's no like crazy like devil agenda. This is God's kingdom, and if the government is an extension of God, then that means corporations beyond a certain point should be an extension of the government. And especially if someone is making all this fucking money, they should have like government agents in these corporate offices making sure that they're not building bombs or something, quite frankly. And that's about as bad as it could be, as people abuse their money and their yada yada for their fucking, for some sort of crazy like world domination agenda. Like, I don't know, Google owning YouTube is like kind of like a great example of like Google does Google, Google does Google, and YouTube was YouTube. And I don't know how the two became integrated other than some stupid ass entrepreneur bullshit of like, oh, YouTube looks like a great way to make money, said the Google Corporation, and then they bought YouTube with their oodles of money from Google and monetized it, and now Google owns YouTube, and I don't want Google to like go anywhere. I think Google is great, but that's one example of an entrepreneur that is trying to make money that is affecting a lot of people's lives. That I love YouTube. Quite frankly, put it to you this way, most of these businesses are focused too damn much on like refining their product that they take steps back. It's very simple. I'll make my own goddamn video site where you just post videos, and it's very simple. It's like the original Facebook, It's like the original Facebook. We don't need a bunch of bubbles everywhere and like a bunch of like weird ass shit. I mean, we don't need like a bunch of detailed graphics and stuff. It's like the YouTube algorithm for how it decides what videos go on your front page is a little bit weird anyways. If you watch one video about, you accidentally click on a video, for example, I don't watch shit like this. I go to my YouTube front page, and it's like, show you guys what, I don't listen to lo-fi. I listened to lo-fi like a few times. It's okay, but it's not like the thing that I do the most. I guess it's good that sometimes if it's there, but it's like, there should be like music genres that you could, discard from your front page. I don't like lo-fi. The slug burger. What is this? Now this is something like cool, the slug burger. I don't know what the fuck that is, but it's like cool, but it's like entertainment, I don't do entertainment really, but if you look at my front page of my YouTube, you know, a lot of this stuff is like, I don't know. I'm not complaining too much. I see the spark of God within YouTube, and since I have faith in my life, I seem to get what I need, you know. But it still is a little bit fucking, I speculate, you know. I speculate, and that's all, you know. Google itself has become sort of like a little bit weird itself. There's too much like weird shit on Google. As of like 15 years ago, there's like a lot of the top results in Google are not like it's not like the best shit. I think Google shit. That's why I'm creating a product. You know, called ETOL. It stands for Everything Online. All of the best, most useful, just a catalog of all the best shit. Everything worth mentioning will be on this website called everythingonline.com. And so yeah, Google Chrome comes in with a built-in text editor, so that you can write code and all kinds of crazy shit. I coded like a blockchain. You know, I coded like a blockchain is like some crazy shit. I don't know what the fuck this is. It's like blockchain. This is like an ebook, you know. And yeah, so Chromebook. Yeah, I mean, let me check my bank account real quick. I'm supposed to be getting a deposit into my bank account tonight, but it hasn't gone through, and an investor of mine sent over the money. A friend of mine and an investor in my company sent over the money at like noon today, so it should be in my account like 5 hours ago. But how long does it really take to fucking get some money transferred over? I mean, damn. But yeah, this particular Chromebook, and I think probably most Chromebooks, are really good for like general like computer use. I think that's, you know, it's a computer not for gaming pretty much. It's like if you just want to surf around the internet, if you don't have any need for any serious software needs or anything like that, you know. Oh, this is what the fuck. I've been looking for this piece of art, or like this graphic. This goddamn save as image. I'm gonna save this, and I'm gonna update my wallpaper to that image again. That was my wallpaper. Like before, and then you know, people in life, they gotta do what they gotta do, and I'm gonna eat this granola bar. Brantley Gilbert, huh?
What if you can create your own
That's
website
not what I
by saying,
wanted.
this is what I want. With Wix, you can. First up, let's talk about AI color themes.
That's not what I wanted to listen to either. I don't know why it clicked on that. Chromebook is a very functionable computer. I play a little bit of RuneScape on my Chromebook every now and then. I've actually been playing a lot of RuneScape for the past couple months. And, where's my goddamn Pop the Trunk? I want to listen to Pop the Trunk. It was just on my front page. It's my life. It's now or never. I ain't gonna live forever. I just wanna live while I'm alive. I hope I don't get copyright striked for doing that. Okay. Yeah, long as you have a stable internet connection, you know, you can do pretty much anything normal on a Chromebook. You know, it comes with a built-in text editor. It comes with a built-in video recorder, like a webcam and a webcam application and a screen recorder. And you know, I think it's optimized for Google Chrome. You know, so YouTube uploads are really fast. Facebook uploads are really fast since Google owns the YouTube company. You know, I imagine well that YouTube probably does best in Google Chrome. I don't know what would make the huge difference if Facebook does better in like Microsoft Edge. You know, I don't know. Chrome is the most popular operating system, so you know, they probably should be optimized for Google Chrome. It's probably written in some other like asterisk if you like optimize the code, the back-end code to work best from Google servers. You know, Facebook, I believe in Facebook. I want to create a social media platform, like a cross social media platform, like a one hub stop for every social media platform for people to host all of their different social medias on my platform. You know, but just kind of like a little hub. I don't expect it to be anything really that big. I've always kind of laughed at people who want to make the next big thing, like the next big thing that already exists. Like, I'm going to take over the search engine space from Google and all them. And the only person who was ever able to successfully grab even a slice, what the fuck is that? God, the goon, the crab, what the fuck? I never seen something such a thing before in my life, but that right there. Crab, what the fuck? I love RuneScape, but I don't know what half the shit in this game really is. You know, yeah, yeah, I don't know, well, we have, gonna fix myself one more, probably like 1 or 2 more cups of coffee for the night, and check one more time if my bank account has the money in it, and I doubt if it does. They said should be in there by the end of tonight. They also said it could take up to like 2 or 4 days. So, but they pretty much assured me that it would be in there by the end of today. I want to make sure that I do the right thing with the money, because the person I got the loan from said he doesn't really give a fuck what I do with the money as long as he gets paid back, which I get Social Security, so he's going to get paid back regardless. But I'm still pretty much debating whether if I want to sell my business or if I want to invest into some other stuff to work on my business without having to sell 50% of my fucking company, because people typically aren't going to see the same beauty that I see in my business. I don't think I'm ever going to be known as like one of those savage motherfuckers who savagely like fucking took the world of business by the balls and killed everyone in his path, and at the top of the mountain he drank the blood of his final enemy. I'm not like anti that, but I'm not like the guy for that. Yeah, I'm not like fucking Rockefeller like that, or the fucking Rothschild family, It's like, I do business to make money. Yeah, I guess if someone fucked with my money, I'd probably fuck them up, but I'm not like your guy for that. I represent a different type of idea. I represent like honest, like faith in my works and just working hard to deserve more money, whatever it is that I have to do. And quite frankly, I think I represent like just making generally the right choice. I mean, making the right choices for yourself. That's what my life is honestly all about. It wasn't a very like bloody path to the top for me. I guess like, yeah, like things had to happen in order for me to get to this point. Like a lot of people had to come into my life. A lot of people had to get the fuck out of my way. And I lost everyone and everything in the process to start anew. And now the friends that I have today are really awesome. But there was a good like 5 years there where I only had like one whole friend through this whole process, which is, I won't say who it is, but it's the one person that has been there. I've only had like one of the same one person that's been here with me through this entire process, through the ups and the downs, and they have, and other than I had like that one friend, it was like I had one single friend throughout this whole process, and other than God, but God probably isn't my, to call God your friend is like kind of weird. I think I'm more of God's like brother, I'm like more of like his little brother than a friend, Well, I think we're friends just fine, but we're more colleagues than friends, and we're more like brothers than, they're more like, they're just as much brothers as we are colleagues, I think. Seems that way, I don't know. I don't think God is up there like laughing in heaven right now. Keep in mind, like, oh, this guy's a dumbass, I know a lot of shit about how life works, and I think God calls me his little brother, so that's really awesome. Yeah, like Chromebook. Let's look through some of the features of Chromebook. if you guys see this little hub right here, I don't go around installing a bunch of like weird like Linux apps. I have like a few things installed on the computer right now, like Visual Studio Code is really good. Let's open up Visual Studio Code and see if I can like, I don't know. It comes pre-installed with like all the shit that you need, like Google Slides, Docs, Sheets, you know. Google Keep. I don't know what the fuck this is. I hope there's no like personal information of mine in here. Was this like a notepad or something? There's notes that you gotta keep or something? Yeah, that's really cool. Ah, shit. I do have stuff on here. Oh, that's not good. Build 3D printed houses. Yeah, this is one thing I want to do someday. I want to find like the I want to like manufacture insulation for 3D printed houses. 3D printed houses are becoming a thing. Houses are not going to be made out of wood and cement and like metal for forever. We're moving toward a new generation of like 3D printed houses and stuff. I mean, you could just see it happen. They're better. They last longer. There will always be like love in the hearts of Americans for like a house made out of good old like wooden beams and like hardwood floors, you know, and stuff like that. You could have probably hardwood floors in a 3D printed house, but first of all, what the fuck just popped up on my computer? This better be good. Dark themes. Oh, my Visual Studio Code. Yeah, so I want to create passive income of dividends. I want to live off of like $10,000 a day, you know, and probably invest most of that money into like stuff. You know, if I don't know how I could possibly spend $10,000 a day on just myself. I'd probably like invest into projects and stuff. Because I like doing stuff, you know, I don't know. Yeah, I think, I don't know. Yeah, it's like, maybe I get to the point where, you know, I can live off of like $10,000 a day. I mean, I would never probably spend like $10,000 a day on like champagne and cigars. There's not too much shit that life really needs. I need like a good, you know, cigars and like a couple $300 bottles of champagne every day. You know, I'm good, you know. Maybe some weed every now and then in my vape and my coffee and my, you know, my house, you know, and my property taxes, blah, 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 bills, you know, a phone, fucking internet connection, and I'm good. You know, maybe have like a Rolls Royce, you know. It's like, do what I want, you know. I mean, it's like, it's the whole point of my life is I go into the world and I earn the right to be who I want to be, and then I just become that, you know. And it's like my desires in life are really quite, you know, modest, you know. It's like I live the kind of life where like ain't nobody really trying to kill me and stuff. It's like I play it cool. I'm not like getting in the way of anyone's business or anything, you know. I'm not like getting in the way of anyone's business or anything, you know. I keep it cool. I keep it competitive. I keep it, you know, the businesses that I do create in other people's space I play it cool, you know. I realize that there's a king of the industry And I realize that I am not and potentially will never be the king of that industry, you know, because people that try to take over and create like monopolies and stuff, they don't really last long. They usually wind up having something happen to them, like wind up dead, or, you know, historically, you know, that's the way it's always worked. I more or less is like, in spite of the fact that you can do shit like that and pretty much get away with it, you know, I just want to keep my cool. You know, I want to be the king of maybe a couple industries, like maybe 3 industries. There's like hundreds of these little industries that I would like to maybe try to be the king of like 3 of those industries. And then they're all, and like have a few like cash cow businesses. I have a few like cash cow businesses that bring me in my money. Other than that, just build great shit that people want to use, you know, build the best fucking products, put them out there and see if people buy them. But they're out there, you know. And if your product isn't the best fucking product, I will outmarket you and make my product make more money than you, god damn it. Because I love people, I believe in people, I want to make people richer. If you create, for example, a software to do live streaming, and it's not the absolute best fucking product that it could possibly be, I'm just going to make my own and sell it and outmarket you so that I take your market and give people what they fucking deserve, you know. That's what I believe in, you know. And it's not about making money. If you want to make money, you got to build the best shit. That's the fucking rule, you know. And the best thing you could hope for is to be in a market that... The best thing you could hope for is to be in a market that, there's not a lot of people that really build the best shit, you know. That's how you make a lot of money, is by building the best shit in a market where the shit is not optimal. I think like being a user of a product, you know what is best. So I use video editing software, I use live streaming software, and I use you know, what else do I use? I use social media. I use workflow management software. And I use graphic design tools and a bunch of other shit associated with business and social media. And, you know, again, I don't really work that hard for the past 10 years. I more or less just study my ass off. I've been reading a lot of books, listening to a lot of audio books, you know. I've been reading a lot of books, listening to a lot of audio books, and listening to a lot of successful people talk about their lives and their business and stuff. Now it's time for me to really get started working on my business. I've been working on my business, but now it's really time that I jump into the meat and potatoes of building businesses. And I'm not really sure if I want to do it, to be honest. I don't really care to have all that money. You know, that's what a lot of people think is when you jump into business for the first time, that you're supposed to read, you know, 100 books or 1,000 books, and that's what I did. It made me a lot smarter, but I don't know, like, am I gonna be the one that is fucking the one that actually will work on his fucking business and not just read the books and listen to the media, the social media content? And am I going to be the one to actually work and build my business beyond that point? Because when you become educated and when you see what money does, it's not that big of a deal. You know, I've almost like been in the position of having money so like so much so long I've had money for such a long time that I've never had a lot of cash, at least not yet. Up until right now, the most money I think I've ever made in a month was like $10,000. But I've also made up to 60 million in a day into my net worth. So now I own a $450 million company. And I don't know if I want to do all this shit. This is kind of ridiculous. Just a life of work and strife and like for the sake of what? Like I understand like contributing value to society, and that's probably, I just don't know if that's what I really like. I don't want to be the fucking guy that sits back. I don't want to be a fucking guy that sits back and like waits for society to figure itself out. I want to take a proactive, provocative sort of control over at least my communities and stuff, and make the world a better place by myself. I'm not going to wait for Elon Musk to invent a fucking rocket ship. This guy obviously doesn't know how to build a fucking rocket to get all this money. I could build a better rocket, I promise you that. I think a big problem with entrepreneurs is they sit around and they think too fucking much. Entrepreneurs do think too fucking much. It's not that complicated, man. It's not that complicated, you know. And they think too much and they work too much, and they don't have like an accurate sense of reality. You always think like way off into the future and how your business is going to be perceived when like after entrepreneurship is eventually phased out and the government takes control of the economy. Will your business still be around? Will your vehicles still be around when like the government basically buys out everyone out of their fucking business, or gives business owners and CEOs like the license to kill per se, and they are now like government sanctioned employees, not just people who pay taxes. I think most of these people out here that are just trying to make a quick buck, and they're not thinking too long term, you know, is like you know, you always got to think more in the future. You always got to think more in the future. Like how are people going to think about you 500 years from now, 10,000 years from now? Because if you own a big business today in this dawn of the internet, people are going to be like hearing about you forever, you know. And it's not to get famous, it's to try to think about things more for your long-term reputation. You don't want to be perceived as a fucking dickhead and an asshole in the business economy in today's age and economy, you know. Is like because then people are going to hate you forever. You know, that's one thing I never wanted, is for people to hate me and stuff. And no one likes a fucking dirty entrepreneur, you know. You don't know what an entrepreneur is to the world economy 500 years from now. You never thought about it, have you? Because you spend a lot of time working and trying to crush the competition with your, you know, as like, it's not going to happen. You know, there's going to be like maybe a few of us that make it to the government sanctioned economy, the government run economy, in like 10,000 years or 500 years or whenever the fuck it happens, when entrepreneurship is more or less phased out and we stop giving power to individuals, is free enterprise is kind of fucking bullshit. You know, people shouldn't have the power to make that much fucking money. The government should have more of a grip on the economy and how much people can control, you know. It's like, because money is power, you know. You can buy a gun with money, you know. You can buy a gun with money, you know. That's just one example, and who the fuck knows the deep, dark-seated intentions of some of these entrepreneurs. We talked about it just fine in this video, you know. Google Corporation, the Google search engine company, bought YouTube.com, and YouTube.com was always supposed to be like a separate entity. It was like supposed to be its own thing, you know. Google probably came in with all of its money and gave the original owners of the YouTube company an offer that they couldn't refuse. And, you know, that's how, you know, entrepreneurship works. And that's why I think I am pushing the agenda for entrepreneurship to be phased out. That if you're not working with if you're not working with the interests or in the interests of the United Nations, you simply can't own a business. If you own like a small restaurant or something, I guess that might be different. But corporate governance and economy should always have a hand from the government, like kind of like directing their steps, you know. I gotta use the bathroom, so I'll talk to you guys later.